it starts up, then we're in great shape. Really, the only thing left after that is going to be figuring out a deck for this thing. That's not the right screw. Okay. And we'll screw this in. I just really hope that I don't have a issue with the compression release. That's the wild part here. So let's see. There's enough oil to start it. I'm going to check it one more time though. Because the last thing I want to do is blow this thing up. That wouldn't be good, would it? It's a little on the low side, but it's enough to at least run it. If it runs, I'll go ahead and change the oil. It'll be good. So let's see here. Sure, it moves forward and backwards here. That's nice. Man, that thing runs like a top. Why it did that? Might be some water in it. Darn, it ran great right off the top there, especially. Let me see if I can sort the water issue. We'll change the oil in it because it's ready, due for that. We know it runs, so that's a good. Relatively quiet, which is a good thing. And this right side tire, this right spindle, looks like it's been through it a little bit, so I think I'm gonna see if I can knock that back into place a little bit. Let's see. Again, this is just gonna be a cheap lawnmower for somebody, so I just need to see what happens. I'm gonna change the oil in it very quickly. Probably drain the carb out just a little bit because I feel like it's got a little bit of water in it, and then we'll see if it runs any better after that. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can figure out why. I've changed the oil in it already, but why this is not running like it's supposed to. Does it have any water in it? Not that I can tell. But this piece is a little bit stuck, so usually I just like to cut these off, but if I can get this to work right, then we'll just roll with it. There we go. So let's see if I can find a wire. I'm just going to stick it up into the jet. This should work. I just got to get it up in there. I don't see any water in it. Let's just do this real quick. Make sure it's dripping down like it's supposed to. Yes, okay. Alright, we'll put this back on then. It could be that solenoid not wanting to play ball, but there seems to be just a tiny bit of rust inside here too, so I could have picked up a chunk of rust. Let this fill up a little bit. So we're getting good fuel flow. I don't know how old this gas is, but how good it ran off the start, I can't imagine that it's terribly old. Seems like everything wants to work, so that's good. This doesn't turn very much to the right like I would think. Again, what we're trying to do here is just get it running and cutting reliably, just because this mower's not going to be worth a ton of money as it is. I might try and get that right front a little bit straighter, because it is kind of looks like it's got the cambered look on it, but really it ain't bad. As long as it steers okay and all that stuff, I'm not terribly worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and put the covers back on and we'll start it one more time here. That thing does run good. I don't know why you had the exhaust valve out of it, but he did. And so next step, I think I showed you already, I've got a 38-inch deck over here that's gonna work, hopefully. I got a discharge chute and everything I can put on it, so Already put new blades on it and all that stuff too. Probably could replace this pulley on it, which I've got plenty of these, so that I ain't worried about that. That lip right there is up. Maybe I can just bend that lip down and it'll probably be okay. This belt is not the correct one, so I have to swap that out. I do have the guards on the side, so that's a plus. And don't know about the blade engage cable, but I'm pretty sure I got one in the stash if I need one. Let's see, where are we on that? I think it's just completely missing. Which ain't that big of a deal. I'll put one in. Yeah, so I'm going to prep this deck and get a belt for it, which I should have one. Get it ready to go, hopefully, so that this thing will be a cutting machine here in just a few minutes. One thing I do have to do is replace the cable, the blade engage cable. I have one off of a Toro rider, an MTD Toro rider. Hopefully this is the one that I need. What you got to do in order to get this off though is under here there's like a little clip that you have to grab the hooks off of to make it work. So you can see that this is broken. And then you have to reach up in here after you do that and grab. Man, they did some weird stuff with this. Tried to repair this cable, which is crazy. You got to reach up here and grab it out of the top as well. We may have to pull the battery again to do this, but there's a clip, and then you have to reach up in here and grab kind of the edge of it in order for it to come off. So I'm going to take care of that because there's no way I can show that to y'all on camera. We'll put this new cable in and hopefully it'll work, and I'll be right back with y'all. Well, we're getting kind of close here, guys. I have put the mower deck on. I had a belt, 38-inch deck belt, is 954-04062, and we've got it on, which is good. The belt is engaging and disengaging like it is supposed to, from what I can tell, or at least it was. So I've got to fit. I think I forgot to put the clip in for the blade engage cable, and it came out or something like that. Oh no, it came out at top here because they had fabricated some mess, literal mess, in order to make this work. I mean, that's a lot of effort right there for what they did. I got to put this blade cable back in. I just got to figure out a way to keep it into the little piece here without it falling out. But I'll figure that out in a minute. But I had the blade engaging and disengaging, which is good. I've put the mount on. I had to switch the mount from this style right here to this style, which I have plenty of. And now I'm in the process of leveling it. Use the oil filter boxes and get them equidistant on the same side. Loosen this with a 1/2 inch right here, and you should be good to go. So you can raise it and lower it right here. And it's kind of low on this side. It's just a tinge low on the left side, so I just need to raise it up just a tiny bit. Get this cable back in. Also, just figure out how to keep that cable on as well. Make it a self-tapping screw or something, and tap something in there. Maybe put a zip tie in there or something like that, just to keep it on. A little bit tight quarters in there, but the deck is on. It's basically level. The belt is engaging and disengaging after I get this correct with the with this cable here. where it goes into the arm. Once I figure that out, we'll be good. And I'll let y'all know. We should be cutting here pretty shortly, so I'll let y'all know. What I might do also is jack this up a little bit, take this wheel off, and then take that spindle and just try and knock it down, because it is sitting out like it had a really bad front end hit at some point. Well, I'm pretty much ready to test this out. One other thing I wanted to note is that I had to modify one of these brackets here in the front so that it would still try and keep the belt on, because this is like a 42-inch off of a Cub Cadet. So I just bent it forward a little bit because the belt comes in from the side more than the front on these 38s. So it's hard to put that bracket in. I didn't want it to be jumping off. So I think that that's going to help matters here. All the pulleys spin free. So what I'm going to do, pull it out a little bit. And I'm going to see if the blades will turn on. So y'all just bear with me as I get it out here. for a couple minutes there, and everything seems alright, so that's good. I actually don't know the proper belt size. I think it's that 04062 belt that I put on. I'll double check off of a machine that has a deck similar to this. But I'm going to pull it in the garage and go ahead and put the engine covers and stuff back on it. And just get everything ready to go to cut some grass, because I do need to cut grass, and this will be a perfect way to do it. Test this machine out, see if it'll cut pretty well. Alright, so I have cut the back part of the front yard. I'm going to let y'all join me for the front half. Run it. Oh, I forgot to put the air filter on it. That would probably be a good idea. You can hear it's running good. At least it ain't very dusty outside today. So, but the deck is working fine. I'm cutting on 5. It's only really engaging the belt at 4 and 5, but it's nice and tight. And again, just with the condition of the deck and the little issues, this is probably going to be like a $300 or a $350 mower anyways. So it's like, how far do I go and delve into it? Whereas somebody's probably going to just run this thing to the ground anyways. So it's like, you know, what do you do? But it's running great so far. I found the front end issues, the axle's getting a little wallowed out there, and so I don't know if there's anything that I can really do to fix that. I just think it got hit really hard one time cutting grass and messed it up. It's still steering okay. Like I said, this is not going to be a perfect machine by any means, and so if I can get it to a functional running, driving, and cutting machine for somebody, then like I said, it's probably worth $350 all day. Get my money back a little bit from things. Deck belt looks like it's not wearing at all, which is good. Everything looks good on it. My rear end's a little wet because of the seat situation, but I'm gonna throw a little bit of duct tape on it. I'm gonna let y'all join me for the ride on the front. The remainder of the front yard, where it's a little bit easier for me to film because it's really, really long after we got a ton of rain here lately. And hopefully we won't have any issues, especially after I put the air filter back on. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, if this works, I'll clean it up, list it, and this thing will probably be gone tomorrow. Alright, so on number 5 it works great, but then when you lower the deck it doesn't. And I don't know, since this is kind of like a retrofitted deck, I don't know what I could do to potentially fix it, because it's got good tension right here, and then whenever you lower the deck it doesn't, so it loses it all. So I don't know exactly why. And when I try and push that back, so I don't know if I've got the front mount on wrong, where it's pulling it forward whenever I'm trying to do that, or what. But or maybe I can't have the wrong cable. I think the belt's correct. I'll cross-reference it with another machine, but because it's got plenty of tension whenever it's up high, so I don't know. You know, part of me wonders if the deck arms on it are a little bit different for the 38 as opposed to the 42. which is why I'm having issues with it. But I mean, for somebody who cuts with it on 5, which is plenty high, as y'all saw in the cutting video there, they're not gonna have any issues with it. Shouldn't really be cutting much less than that anyways. So it might just let it ride, honestly. I mean, the condition of this machine is not the best. And I know if I list it for about $350, that it'll go very quickly, instead of me trying to put a couple hours into it, only to get another 50 extra bucks or something like that. So I think we're just gonna let it roll like this. I did throw some duct tape on the seat here. I am gonna wash it, clean it up a little bit, and send it on. Again, I basically fixed this in the morning, about, I don't know, 3 hours time at the most, 2 hours time. So not too bad, all things considered. I'll clean this up. I really don't have any money in it either, which is nice. The deck I already had here, y'all saw new blades on it. They were given to me by a product review company, or a company that I do product reviews for. And really the only money I have in it is an oil change and duct tape. So I'll take it. I'll clean this up, let y'all see what it looks like before we send it on out of here. Again, it cut the yard just fine, as y'all saw. Steering's a little tight because of the worn out front end, and it only cuts on level number 5. But you know what, with the cosmetics issues and stuff that this thing has, just, you know, send it, is what I say. It's gonna cut. It's not really worth much more. If I fix the deck issue and somebody cuts on number 5 all the time, then they're not gonna know any different, honestly. So there we are, all finished up. Ended up doing the shine job and stuff on it just to make it look a little bit better. And it does look good. Y'all saw that I did the whole front yard with it. And it works just fine. It only works on the top setting though, number 5. And it's just the way that it is, unfortunately. I'm almost thinking that the deck hangers are a little bit different on the 38s as opposed to the 42s. But I mean, it engages and it's strong. It was bogging down because it was trying to cut those blades, or cut that thick grass earlier. Again, with the shape of this, I could investigate a little bit more, but I don't think it's the belt. I think the belt is fine, because it's when you lower the deck is when it loses its tension. I am going to double check just to make sure that that is the correct belt for this. But usually whenever it's engaging and being nice and strong, because it's not wobbling or anything, it's just when you get down low, it loses most of its tension, which could be, like I said, it could be the blade engage cable I put on it, maybe a little bit longer than spec, but it's still pulling everything back like it's supposed to. So it's something going on with the lift mechanism of this machine, I think. But like I said, the price point that this mower is, then it's just going to be like that. Somebody's going to give me $350 for this machine, take it home, cut grass, abuse the mess out of it, and be done with it, probably. So it's just the way it's going to be with this machine. It did clean up pretty well though, all things considered. I need to put a couple of zip ties on the gas tank so that it's just not flapping around like that. But either way, basically in a span of a morning, I got this thing running, put a deck on it, put a belt on it, cut grass with it, and now I'm listing it to sell. So nothing crazy. Gonna make my money back off of it. Again, I got this on a trade for another MTD Murray. I got $250 plus this machine for that other one. If I get 400, then I get 650, which is originally what I wanted to get for that black Murray that I traded this for, but I had that priced a little bit high because nobody wants a 38-inch mower for $650, no matter if it's 5 years old or not. And this one's 7 years old, and we're going to list it at $400 and hopefully get $350 for it. It won't go for anything less than that because it's a functional mower that's going to work just fine for whoever buys it from me. Alright guys, so that is everything on this Murray M155 4.2 lawn tractor, now turned into a 3.8 essentially. Just threw a 38-inch deck on that I had here, put a 38-inch deck belt on it, and like I said, it's cutting in the top number 4 and number 5, but doesn't want to cut at the lower 3, 2, and 1. But really, with these mowers right here, you shouldn't be cutting that low anyway. So, like I said, somebody's going to get this thing, $350, use it, abuse the mess out of it, and that's the market for this machine. There is a market for these machines, and you know, turning something into nothing and turning a kind of a mediocre trade deal into a better trade deal. And you never know, I might get a trade on this too, who knows. But either way, this thing's running fine, ready to go. New owner should be able to roll with it pretty good. Like I said, I'm not really seeing any issues with deck belt wear or anything like that. It's just something with the lift mechanism and all that stuff work that I did and this deck's not in the best shape either. All that work that I did just to get this thing to function halfway decent, I think, has something to do with that. But there's a market out here for this. It's not worth any more of my time and effort to try and get that deck any better than it is, or really that front end, because either way, this mower's a $500 mower in perfect, with all of those issues sorted. And I can move on to another one. Somebody's going to be able to use this and get good service out of it for what it is, essentially. I do need to put a little ATF in the left rear. I'll do that before parking it and listing it. But I appreciate y'all coming along the journey with me on this machine. A very quick journey. Basically just a morning's worth of work here to get it back going, put a starter on it. All the items that I had here, I already had in-house, didn't really have to pay any money to get this machine back going, which will help on the residuals when I go to sell it. We'll see if I get a trade on it as well. But I know this one will probably sell within 48 hours, so I'll be looking forward to having a little bit more room if I don't get a trade. I appreciate y'all watching this small engine repair video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Putting a 38-inch mower deck on an MTD 42-inch, what originally was a 42-inch rider. And I will catch y'all on the next video.